Hi everybody, sanibonani. Welcome to my channel. Igama lami nguNtando Mdletshe. And normally on this channel siyazifunda iy'ncwadi ey'bhalwe ngolimi lwesiZulu bese siza la sokhuluma ngazo ley'ncwadi sixoxele laba abangenaso isikhathi sokufunda iy'ncwadi nalaba futhi abasuke benqina nje ukufunda. Siyaphinde futhi sibuka ama-reality shows ethu ala eMzansi bese siza la sizokhuluma ngawo, senze ama-reviews ama-recaps bese siphinda-ke nje siyagossip-ke. Sikhulume ngawo lama-characters ethu, sikhulume ngama-storylines and everything. But today-ke our video is very different because today is story time. I'm not gonna say a lot of you have been requesting because some of YouTube bayathanda ukusho a lot of you have been requesting me to do, no, not a lot of you, maybe two or three people. When I posted about my engagement, there were a few people who said story time would be nice. And I was thinking, yo, that is going to be a long video. It's going to be a long video because we're talking about over 30 years of love journey. But if you're interested, you're going to listen to it. But uma uyaqala ukusijoyina namhlanje naku ungakhohlwa ukuthi upresse usubscribe la ngezansi bese ke uyaphinda futhi upress i-notification bell la iduze kuka-subscribe ukuze phela uthole umyalezo uma ngabe umsebenzi omusha sesiwufakile. Ngizoqala ngokukhuluma-ke, just a little bit of background. You know our storytelling. It's weird because I'm telling my own story. Listen, mina ngowasemzinyathi esigodini saseMaqadeni, and my fiance, what is a fiance ngesiLungu? Ngoba i-fiance yosifazane ingoduso. What's the other one? What's the male one? Hayi angazi. My fiance yena owasemaPhepheteni. Amaphephetha namaqadi iy'godi ezakhelene, bawumakhelwane, and as it stands vele iy'ndawo ezithelelanayo amanzi, iy'ndawo ezinanelayo, iy'ndawo bayaganiselana. There's a lot of people from emaqadini abagane emaphepheteni. There's a lot of people basemaphepheteni abagane, yabo nje kwenziwa kanjalo, and abantu abaningi ba-related because of those things. Emaqadini, we do have inkosi yasemaqadini, which is ubaba umqoqi, ubaba uNgcobo. So a lot of the people basemaqadini, it's either owakaNgcobo noma uzalwa umaNgcobo noma uganwe kaNgcobo. There's just always something kaNgcobo, noma umakhelwane wakho wakaNgcobo. And then emaphepheteni it's the same thing ngogwala-ke. It's either owakaGwala noma uhlobene nakaGwala noma ngomalume wakho kaGwala noma umakhelwane wakaGwala, it's the same thing. Kodwa-ke there is talks of, like, for an example nje, my mom and my aunts were sharing ukuthi kusakhula besakhula bona omalume bami and my grandfathers used to talk about iy'ngozi that they had from impi yamaphephetha namaqadi. But when you ask questions about it, it wasn't like impi, like war, like really war. It was izimpi njengokuthi kubangwa iy'ntombi, you know, or bahlulene mhlampe ebholeni, or bekuliwa nje ngey'nduku nje, kudlaliswana njengey'nsizwa. So yayikhona leyo conflict-anyana, but it wasn't that serious. Kwabuye kwaba right sokwakhelene. So mina when I grew up, this is about how we met, mina and my fiance. When I grew up, bengihlala eMzinyathi, which is eMaqadini, and I went to a primary school. Besibiza lower primary school, higher primary school, and then we go to a high school. So I went to Isenzokuhle, lower primary eMzinyathi, higher primary, and then I went to Tabeka High School. They call it bezakhelene nje, like a walking distance from one school to another. So bekwaziwa vele ukuthi all the kids, most of the kids ezifunde eMzinyathi primary school, they will go to eTabeka. Beziphakelana lezo izikole lezo. But yeah, my fiance did not go to the same schools I went to, but he went to another local school. Yena ifamily yakhe is part of abantu aba-move at the time ke politics. The time, should I say abelungu bezokwakha idamu. If you ever hear about Chinanda Dam, ngenkathi kuzokwakhiwa idamu, there were people abasuswe ey'ndaweni zabo, you know. the most recent thing. It's amazing actually what it actually happened. What about they allowed that to happen? Basuswe endaweni zabo because bekuzokwakhiwa idam. So basusa la behlala khona bayokwakha elokhuzeni emaphepheteni. So there's a lot of people emaphepheteni abasuke ngapha ngasesitebheni. If you know indawo yangala ngasekhaya, ngapha ngasesitebheni baya emaphepheteni, abanye-ke bahamba baya koNtuzuma baya kuphi emalokishini. So he was one of those families. So but-ke bekade kubo kuseduze esikoleni eNyoni, so they continued-ke ukuthi afunde elokhuzeni esikoleni saseNyoni, but isikole saseNyoni didn't have a high school close by. So iy'ngane bey'funda eNyoni, iNyoni bekuyi-combined school. I-combined school thina bekuyisikole esiqala from first year to first year, phela mina ngifunde kudala, so there's no grade R here. So Inyoni was from first year to standard 5, and then the kids would go to different schools. Abanye baya eMqhawe, abanye baya eDabeka, abanye baya koMyeka, kobani. So, and yena he was one of the kids that came to the same school thina from eMzinyathi besisiphakela is uMzinyathi, which is iDabeka High School. So there was always ukuthi mangabe nizokwenza standard 6, which is grade 8, manizokwenza standard 6, kube a lot of kids from eMzinyathi and a few from eNyoni, you know. And he was one of the few. And in our class, I think I remember him being one of the 2 boys ebengebona. I don't remember if there were girls. Yes. So sonke besazana except for them. So it was him and the other boy. Bebengathi ama-twins ade angalingani. The other boy naye, he was tall. They almost looked alike. He was tall, and then he was short. Basihlukanisa kanjalo. So he came to my class eLokhuzeni, standard 6A. Standard 6A. Standard 6A, hey, so for some reason it was so weird the way bebesihlukanisa ngayo on which subjects you're going to do. Bebebuka abaphase kahle babafake ka-A, phase kahlanyana B, kahle kahlanyana, ciciyelwe bese kuthi D. Oh, there were 4 classes, mawuka-D, hhayi. Besazi report lakho belinjani. Funny enough, that group yaka-A, they will always choose that group for commerce. You're going to do commercial subjects like about accounting, business economics, and all that. So he was in my class. Yeah. Honestly, guys, I was so clueless. Mina mangika standard 6, especially when it came to izinto zokujola and all of that. I didn't even know what it was time to join. But manifika high school, usually nisuke nisamangele ngey'ndaba zama-relationships when it comes to like a primary school. Ngiyakhumbula e-primary school bekubizwa umthandazane, kuthiwa abajolayo kubizwa umthandazane. So it was something, move from an environment where ukujola is something that is frowned upon to an environment where it's like now it's cool ukuthi kujolwe, amukho ozobe ekunakile ukuthi uyajola, nobody cares, you know. But I still just didn't understand. Honestly, guys, I was clueless when it came to relationships and all of that when I was in standard 6. To me, it just wasn't the time yokujola because I didn't know ukuthi yini ukujola. I remember ukuthi, well, some of my friends did get boyfriends by the end of that year. But I remember with my cousin Ukwanele, we used to talk mangabe sibona abantu abathandana, Kwanele, hey, lento baxoxani abantu mangabe bethandane, sihlele hayi masibona umuntu ehamba ne-boyfriend sithi yindaba baxoxani, what would you talk about? That was just my mystery when it came to relationship. What is a relationship for? What do you talk about? So it was in standard 6. Honestly, guys, I didn't see anything that indicated that he liked me. I don't think that I liked him. He was a cute boy. And I remember khona incwadi besifunda ngayo kaJoey. I don't remember if that was the title of the book, but the incwadi that we did the English on in standard 8, it was called, it had a character called Ujoey. And the way they would describe that boy, everybody in class thought it was him. He was a cute, short boy, the shortest in class. And he used to be the shortest in class, and I was the shortest too. So automatically, just when we started reading that book in class, everybody started calling him Joey. To this day, there are people that still call him Joey. And begconwa nje kanjalo nje ukuthi ulokhuzana uJoey. And I remember uthisha wethu we-English konje bekuba uMiss Mayo. And then, yeah, but I never thought it would be like, actually, I only found out like during our engagement recently, Uti, he liked me since that time, but I really never used to say that. And then we moved to standard 7. We're still in the same available mover with the same people. 6A, 7A, 8A, 9A, 10A, ngiyaphuma. That's just abasala bayasala, but in that if you got A, you got A. So then what happened? We moved to standard 7. Guys, we were a menace. Yabona makuthiwa menace to society. Our class was always a menace. I don't know, like people that it was like we were put to, we knew each other from the other side. And when we were put together, it was like we known each other from, I don't know what, basically. But it wasn't ukuhlupha ukuthi mhlawumbe ukuhlupha lokhu ukuthi sihlaza, siyalwa, kuyabhenywa, kuyaphuzwa. No. It was menace as in the middle of ukufundisa, othisha bayafundisa emaklasini, if there is no teacher in our class, someone uzoqala iculo lezayoni, sesiyacula siyambongoloza, sicula iculo lezayoni siyagida la eklasini. Hawu, kungena uthisha asishaye 2 hours later futhi khona oseqala iculo lomshado sesiyacula, sesiyasina lana nge-break. High school they never used to play like oshumpu and all that. Thina na ushumpu now threaten, besihlupha in that way. But it was fun. I had fun in high school. When I was done with high school, honestly, I didn't feel like I missed it because I had fun from like grade 8 to grade 12. So then we moved to standard 7. We are still siyahlupha kanjalo. Anyway, I think there were just a few that failed, and then the others samuva nabo. And yeah, but it was fun. Obviously kuyajolwa lana khona la eklasini nakwamanye ama-class awu-understand yini umjolo abantu hayi bajola, but we still all having fun. I think only by the end of the year in standard 6 I realized some of my friends have boyfriends. Are we supposed to get boyfriends? They never updated me, but I'm like, okay, I was supposed to get boyfriends. Okay. We're supposed to see which one. So he was in the mix. We were all having fun. Kuyajola lana. Hayi, this one ushela lona, lo ushela lona, lo ushela nalo, nalo, nalo. Yabo, thina it was just, we were not stressing guys about umjolo ngekhathi zethu. We were not. Indaba yokuthi boyfriend yami lona, don't touch. No, boyfriend weshela le, shele lo. Hayi, now yakushela, now yakushela. It was just fun. Now actually, I boyfriend, it was that kind of a thing. When I say we had fun in high school, guys, I don't remember even about just one person, a lolly boyfriend, and they would date everybody. This one, that one. I don't think all of us were sexually active. I was not. I was very late in terms of that. I guess somewhere towards the like higher classes because some fell pregnant. Go grade I was then at 9, just before Siqede. So yeah, and then we go to standard 7. In standard 7, I guess like a group of friends. All of us in class were friends, but I did have a group of friends. I think there was like 8 of us, and I think him, at that time, Ubeshela, a friend of mine, another friend that was in that group, that friend, and then this boy who was the same age as us, because I knew him, Wangasekaya, who was the same age as us, but he was a class lower than us. And but I don't think wake fail or anything like that. They were just things that they were going through with family. Okay, I think somewhere. So this guy was the same age as us, but the lower grade was sharing the same girl. When I say we were mixing. The same girl in. So obviously, you're not thinking. And then the year before, he was sort of. There were rumors that he was dating another one who was my friend too. When I tell you, when we were sitting and talking with my friends, asihleki kanje those things. Naye mangimkhumbuza, we laugh so much about them. So obviously, I'm not thinking. By the end of standard 7, I'm thinking, oh, maybe now I should get a boyfriend. And okay, we go to standard 8. Standard 8, we became more menace. if there's anything like that. We were like the biggest menace. I remember our class, because well, class less class for the grade. We will know it's A is always in for the grade. And class right next to the principal's office. One day the principal came after sishawe kaningi every day sishawa siphinde futhi sibambe umsindo sicule sigide sinjani. Bekungaqalwa iculo in our class kucula isikole sonke. That's how much fun we had. Everybody wanted to be in our class. And then uthisha omkhulu one day he came and he was like, you know what? I'm done. Wasithatha and what was on? Pack on your things, sathatha our bags. Wahamba wayosifaka kwelinye class. Yabona that class nobody wanted it. It was lilimbi linama-desk amamba abhalwe kahle sithi yo hey yane sangena kule class and then took those kids. Bekudilo yabo wathatha-ke idomi. Wathatha udishe ngoba bafake eklasini elihle thina wathatha wasifaka eklasini elimbi. Yo, hhayi saqala sahlupha even more. Now sesikude phela lapha besihlupha but thisha omkhulu. Saqala manje sahlupha even more. But so now in standard 8, I don't remember when I got a boyfriend, but at some point I had a boyfriend. It was just that cute that when I tell you we mixed, that boy that was shelling my friend also shelled me. The one that was a class lower also shelled me. And he was cute, and I liked abantu who abahlaniphile. I don't know, for some reason at that time it was really important that you are serious about school, right? And I had a boyfriend. I think just maybe like a week, not that week. Should I say a week? Maybe that month. Okay, maybe that month when I got a boyfriend. Because what used to happen now, we are in standard when we were in the old class. Beklala amantombazana abafana and mina I didn't yena babembeka phambili ngoba he was short. I don't know how he was short because right now he's not short. But they used to sit him in front with his friends. Ne? So he was on the second row, first desk. I mean, I was on the first row, third desk. And I remember just noticing that he used to look at me. Even in standard 7, I think I noticed that he used to look at me. But I used to think, corner something that fascinates him about me. The way I was so locusum. But I didn't think anything about maybe he likes me or anything like that. No, I never thought about that. So, yes. So maybe that so he used to look at me. Okay, let me tell you this. He used to look at me. You know that movie and vampires and what and that boy would sit in class like this and look at that girl. He used to do that before the movie. That movie as is written about us. Yeah, we need copyright what. Anyway, so I used to look and then I started and they really it just became a mystery to me why he would just say, oh, look at me. Like I would be somewhere sometimes, eh, around the school and I would just feel that someone is looking at me when I turn at him. So I ended up, okay, I don't know what he was scared of. And I think in standard 8, he did say he liked me, but I was like, boy, I just got a boyfriend. I was like, I just got a boyfriend. Is you crazy? Why was you quiet all this time? But yeah, but he started. I don't know. I think maybe when I got a boyfriend, that's when he realized, Kanti, she wants a boyfriend. But I mean, I used to give a picture with it's all about school. And well, I was all about school. There's other things I was just doing because other people were just doing it. Let me just be part of the part of the gang. And then yeah, but then I was like, I have a boyfriend. I didn't even like pay that much. So but at that time I realized, oh, so that's the reason he's always looking at me because he likes me. But then I'm like, but I have a boyfriend. And you've got your girlfriends. Because he did have his girlfriends. This one too had his girlfriends, It's terrible guys into ebesiyenza thina nje e-high school thina besinga-stress let's stressa kwenu nize nibulalane thina besingabanga ama-boyfriend. This one star wami loyana nami star wami loyana hhayi yabo nje bekumixwa guys e-high school. It was a fun time. You will end up with whoever you end up with. For now, let's just, get to know each other. So then in standard 9, what happened is that one thing that I really didn't like was somebody that smoked and somebody that drank. And that boy smoked and he drank. He too, I didn't realize that he actually smoked and drank. But this boy, what happened was that this one time we had a function at school, and he was the person that would become someone totally different when he's drunk. Like it was like today it's an angel, tomorrow it's like, I want to say John Cena, but John Cena is so so innocent. He would become like an animal, but he wouldn't become an animal towards me. Like he would just totally ignore me when he's going through that, and then but he would threaten other people. And then so one day when we had a function at school, he did that, and it was a big thing, and everybody knew about it. Oh, teacher knew about it. He was threatening teachers and what. And then the following day he came. He was an angel again. But bekunecala, and I was like, no. My reputation at school to me was very important. How the teachers looked at me. I attached a lot of my value to how I was viewed esikoleni, because bengaziwa njengengane ehlakaniphile, academics, prefects, whatever. Masiganga siyaganga, but asigangi lokho, So I was like, mm-mm. So, but then I was feeling sorry for him because he went through a lot after that event. He even stopped drinking because they called the parents, and the parents of the kids that were threatened. And it was a big case. So I waited for that case to end. And then after like a few weeks, I found an excuse. I think I said something just stupid to say, no, I'm okay. And then we went our separate ways. And then, so now, because he had started, now this one had started talking. Now I'm looking at him like, okay, he's cute. Okay, we're in standard 9 now. I'm like, okay, no. Yeah, he's cute. Okay, he's not bad at all. And then he will, I mean, I like that he would come even when the schools are closed, come and see me. And then, hi, he was the first person to bring me streetwise too. Oh, guys, when I say dating, I don't think we go into movies, social workshop. When I say dating, I mean when isikole sesiphumile ungiphathele iy'ncwadi zami nami ngikuphathele zakho. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about on Saturday I wake up, I clean ekhaya, ngigeze, nawe same thing, and then you come and see me. We see each other for 5 minutes, you go home, I go home. That's what dating was. I'm not talking about us going to the beach to take a walk. Njengothando noba naye, no, that wasn't dating for us. When I say dating, that's what, get the picture. That's what I'm talking about. And then what happened? Okay. And then he started, obviously, I'm looking at him like, okay, I like him. Listen, guys, I think the biggest mistake we do as people, as parents, is that we don't talk about love and we don't talk about relationships with our kids. And one thing that I never knew in my life was that there was something called falling in love, and what that does, and what is that for, and how you understand it, and what it means. Like we just our kids are just getting shocked by feelings that they don't understand. So, like with him, obviously that boyfriend I got because everybody was getting a boyfriend. So I liked him, but I don't think that I loved him or I was in love with him. So this time the feelings were different. But you don't know your child, you just know this is different. But then you're in standard 9, obviously things are getting serious because summer class they're going up now, and in standard 9 we're still in the same class. But we were in the same class, we were still having fun. But the boys group, we will have fun together. But the boys group started getting like into trouble. Like they would like sometimes we would be in class and the teacher is there, and you look at the row yabafana and there's no one there. Bahambile bayophuza somewhere or bayobhema. So they got into those things. I think by the end of the year in standard 9 we knew that they were not these people were not going to pass standard 9. We knew, I think we knew. We just knew before they wrote the exam. So it was that situation. Sometimes bafika bedakiwe esikoleni bayashawa, bayaxoshwa kubizwa abazali kunjani. It was just that in standard 9. Lapho phela kuyafundwa serious. And then I think masqeda, that period we would write exams very early, maybe finish mid-November, and then stay for a long time, and then wait for this one day to go fetch the report cards. I think between that time, he came to see me ngaleso sikhathi leso, and I think that's when I said yes. I don't know why I said yes, because we school in. I don't know. And then, yes, I think we saw each other a few times, and then Mr. Hamza Olanda my report. Obviously, I knew what he report like a Lizzie fail. I knew. I never saw it. And then went here, had Christmas, everything. Now, when the year began, when I tell you that when the year began, I was like, for me, that year, was it 1997, 94, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8, 98. Yeah, because we met in 94 in standard six. So now it was like, okay, like get ready. For me, metric guys was like between life and death. This is wire wire. This is it. This is this is between Deloitte and TEFSA and you staying at home and not studying. That was it. What you do this year is going to determine where you're going to be next year. For me, metric, it was that. It was like, this is it. Nothing can distract you. So when the year began, obviously we had got our report cards. We know who's moving to Metropolitan. When I tell you go to that class, abantu bebexwengeka when we're moving up. When we started in standard six, maybe we were like 40. By the time we were in matric, there was like 15 or 16. We were like 16 in class. We were like 16 in class, and obviously he was not one of them. So we come back, he's not there. And it was miserable, guys, to fail standard nine because it was like this block was like a block that had a standard nine classes, and the first one was like 9A, and then the block here was like the metric block, and 10A was here. So we were moving from this corner to this corner here. So if you failed, you are staying in this corner, but everybody that you were in class with is just here. The doors are like here. There's a door and there's another one here. So it was a miserable time if you fail standard nine and you were in standard 9A. So a lot of people will not come back, go to another school. At that time, it wasn't so difficult to find schools like it is with our kids now. If you want to change school, you take a report, you take a remover, you go to another school, they take you. And so he didn't come back. So I'm like, okay, he must not be coming back then. And then one day, and the parametric first days, yeah, Shakafunda, one day this is a class, and I think English teacher was there, Shakafunda, and then I see, oh, hey, him and someone else, I don't know if it was his cousin, they had come to collect the loaner. They tried to wait so they can see me. Guys, there was no cell phones. Hey, Pella, if that's why we were very forgiving. We were very forgiving girlfriends. We're very forgiving generations because just because he didn't, you don't talk to him for 5 days doesn't mean he doesn't love you. Because if he is not here, there's no way of telling you, Guti, listen, I'm no longer coming to that school. So this is the deal now. You know what I mean? So we were forgiving. We might wait 2 weeks to hear from him, but there's no other way he can contact you. So he's gonna come and explain. So yes, they tried to wait. I think he gave a message to one of my cousins. And I think I had heard from, because he was friends with my cousin. He had told me before, he said he's thinking of changing schools because I don't know if his parents thought it was a good idea to change schools because he had failed really, really bad. And then, sorry, baby, but he did. And he was on his dome, better fail, but maybe can't understand. And he didn't fail alone. That group all just failed. And then sorry. And then okay, kwaqalwa-ke kwafunda. Yabona when he changed school, so he's no longer now to come and see me, it's like two taxis. This is school kids, and he's studying. He can't come during the week. Now I'm busy with the matric. Yo, I was serious again on matric. Yes, I did Jola during matric, but you know, I was serious. For me, it was a matter of life and death. This is what is gonna make my life. So I like this is me just being focused. So whether a boyfriend ifikile azongitsheka wayifikanga, whether I had a boyfriend or not, I would forget sometimes because I was so focused during my I really wasn't stressing about boys. But what's the okay, so the year ends and then I prepare what's okay. So then during the time when we were waiting for and then we wait, our results come, matric, we are in the newspapers, best results. Best results from my school pen. For my school, no, yes, I did well, especially because I wasn't in the best school. And then I had applied at Wits University and other universities as well. So my sister lived in Joburg at the time. So she lived in Joburg, so she comes for the holidays. So then my sister is like, "Did you apply at Wits Universities?" Now this is after we got our results. We know when you've done everything, and then the university is like, now we are waiting for results. TEFSA applied for bursaries, whatever, applied. And then they're like, "Did you apply at West?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then when she's leaving, she's like, "I'm going with you." I'm like, "Going with me where?" To Joburg. I'm like, "Why?" And she said, "I guess you applied at Vets. So we might as well go with you. We're so that you can check if they took you or not." I'm like, how? But what does vet have to do with Joburg? She's like, but vet is in Joburg. I'm like, vet is in Joburg. Guys, I thought vet was in Witwatersrand, which was, I thought it was another place or another province. I don't know. I didn't know that vet was in Joburg. She's like, yes, vet is in Joburg. Then we went to Joburg. Did I tell anybody I'm going? No. Because even my friends, I never told. They heard ukuthi uhambile useGoli and whatnot. So it was sort of an end of a relationship, but it wasn't ended. That we had never spoken to say the relationship is ending or whatever. So now I'm at Vet University. I'm studying. Honestly, at varsity, I was just about like studying. It wasn't because I really the adjustment was really hard. I think that's a story time for another day. The adjustment when you come from a disadvantaged school and you go to this university, the adjustment is hard, guys. So it took me time to really adjust, like find my feet. And at some point, I feel like all the because at high school, guys, I was the most confident. When I look at my pictures in high school, I'm like, yo, banging a komuhle, ne? But the way I was so confident when I was in high school, I thought I was beautiful. I thought I was the most intelligent child. I was more confident. I had more self-esteem in high school than I do now. It amazes me when I think about it. And that's what made me survive a lot of things that happened to me, other things that I will talk about another time. So then now focus is, I'm trying to adjust here to make a life for myself. I'm failing a module here, a module there. First time ever getting a fail in the module. That's it. It's obvious. But then I wasn't thinking, it's not like I'm thinking this person is sitting there thinking about me or whatever. I'm thinking the relationship is over. But like I would get surprise calls, like random calls, like, "Nje, why did he used to call me?" Because it would be, oh, we had phones in our room. Like, yes, when I was at vet, we had phones in our room. So like Ekayabet, they had my number. I think my cousin had my number. Like it would be random. Like I'm forgotten about this person. I'm not even thinking about him, and then he would just call. Like, yeah, you know who you're talking to in. And then this one time, I'm talking to my cousin, and my cousin tells me that he had lost his mom. Like his mom had just passed, and it was just after he had lost his dad as well. So my heart was so I found a way to go. I phone I would telecom. I went and I called. I think maybe a couple of times because I've been phone engine. He used to stay a car. I used to call engine and I didn't find him. And then finally I got him and I was like, "No, I'm just calling to say I heard about your mom." Did I call when it was him, his mom or dad? But balandelane eduze, bashone balandelane eduze. I was like, "No, I heard about your mom. I just wanted to say I'm really sorry about that." I'm not thinking it's a big deal. I just thought, oh, Shemi lost his mom. And I knew he was the only child, and I knew that there was something that was big. And I remember him being really like surprised, like, you really like called me. I'm like, yeah, I heard it was a name. Oh, umama wakho ushonile ini. And I was like, oh, thank you. In so varsity reps ups after a couple times, two times three. Yay! Ivethi isishikilisile, wrapped up, ilokhuzana, graduates after a few years, BCom degree, and then we, what happened? How did we get in contact? Oh, yes. So then I'm looking for a job. Ne? I'm looking for a job. The excitement to graduate and get a job tomorrow. And then it doesn't really happen that way. But then again, it wasn't that long. It's just that I thought I was going to graduate. I thought I was going to finish in December and then January get a job. So when February comes and March comes, I was frustrated because I thought, and my graduation was like around April, I think. So then graduation in April, my mom comes to do a graduation, and then after my mom comes to job for graduation, guys, when I say job search, I know job search. Two times that I've been jobless, that I've done a job search, I know job search where you apply for every single job on the job. What's that paper called? Learn Msebenzi just straight, and I will call. There was this agent that I took my CV to. They did an interview with me. When they did an interview with me, I thought they were going to get me a job immediately after I did the interview. But I'm like, so I would call that woman every day. Do you have something for me? Do you have something for me? I think other day she would just know. She would pick up a phone. The agency will pick up a phone and be like, yes, Tando, no, not yet. I don't have anything. But as soon as I have something, I'll call you. So when graduation comes, my mom comes. I'm just emotional about not finding a job, and I'm like, Mom, I just want to be at home. So I pack all my things, thinking I'm moving back to Durban so that I can just look for a job while I'm at home. I come, I stay a day. Oh yes, when I'm on my way back to Durban, he calls me. I think my mom had bought me like the smalanyana cell phone asafik. He calls me, like, no, I'm just checking on it. Then I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just um oh yes, I'm actually coming back to Devon in and then he asked me, what are you doing right now? It's no, I'm looking for a job in and it's like, you know what? He used to be, he's still in retail. He does something different than what he used to do, but he's still in retail. But he was in retail at the time. He was in retail eight all like supermarkets. So he says, even though it's not what you like to do, but sometimes ngiyakwazi ukuthi ngakutholela mhlawumbe into ubambe for isikhashana. So I was like, I would love to do. At that time, I was like, I'm full kaya. So I was like, okay. And he was like, oh, masufikile, then just call me. We can meet in pavilion, and you'll give me your CV, and then I'll let you know. I go Kaya, I stay a day or two. The agency called, and where are you? I've got something for you. I've got a term for you somewhere. I'm like, huh? Nimina, I'm in Durban. He's like, take the next bus because tomorrow. Yeah, and she was like, I'll give you 2 days. Because in one of the banks, they need somebody to temp there. It's a contract, whatever. I'm like, yo, I need to go back. Tell my sister, she buys me a ticket. Job back. He calls me again. How I just wanted to arrange when are you gonna come bring your CV. I'm like, oh, I'm on my way back to the job. Awu ngingasakubonanga ngathi hayi ngiyobona umsebenzi mina. Ngiyobona umsebenzi. But that was us getting back to talking, like talking, and then I started working. We after that we were like talking every day, and then it was like, are you seeing anyone? I was like, I'm single. Yeah, he was so happy that I was single. And I was single after a really like horrible, very short relationship. So I we started talking. Like we will talk every the fact that I didn't get fired from that job because I used to be on the phone all the time. Used to be on the phone all the time. And then That was us being back together. I don't know. Did we talk? Are we getting back together? I don't think that we did. But that was us. And then, come the end of that year, I was pregnant with my daughter. I was pregnant with my daughter. This is the place where I explained, because a lot of people always ask, like, why would you stay with somebody for so long and not and be okay with ukuthi ningalobolani ningashadi and all of that. Okay, so I'm pregnant with my daughter, like, right, I felt pregnant in December of that year, because we started talking with him just before, after graduation, around April. And then we started visiting. He would come to Joburg and I would come to Durban. Joburg, hey, Ekaya, they would think I'm in Joburg, but I'm in Durban. I'm in Durban. So then, okay, my daughter comes the following year in September, and okay, and things happened with him and his job, and then he moved to. We made a decision for him to move to Joburg, but my baby was living with my mom at the time. And then after a few months, we decided we want to stay with our child, and the best thing is for us to live together and bring our child. So we took Mtanam and, sahlala naye. And then after like a few years, then I quit my job at the bank the way I was working, and moved back in Durban, because we wanted to move back in Durban. He got a transfer with his job to move back to Durban. And at the time we had, I just found it, because when I moved back to Durban, I lived at home. I just found it difficult to live at home after you've lived, not even on your own, because I didn't really live on my own. I always lived with somebody, but it was like hard to live at home now with umama. Uyahamba edrobheni umuntu uyakufonela, hayi bo kubuya nini eThekwini. Yabo leyo nto leyo. So, and then 2 years later we had our son. No, we had we had my son actually before I moved back. I moved back right after my son. I just felt like I always struggled at Joburg with, because there was no family support. Sometimes you just need to go and leave your kids with your mom, a car where you know they are safe, and it was a struggle in Joburg. So then we made a decision then to go live together in Chesterfield, which is his family. It was a family home that we lived to, but we were living alone, just us as a family. So when it comes to, like, we were working on our relationship, because remember, we don't really know each other. We knew each other in high school. I know his name, he knows my name. That was about it. So then our relationship was long distance. We would visit each other, and then it was all phone calls. And then now we have a baby, and then 2 years later we have another one. Like, we are getting to know each other while we just become parents. Am I going to be rushing to marry that person? No, because I do not know this person. Not at all. I do not know this person. My focus at the time was just to be able to find my fit in being a mom, and I wanted to be in a happy relationship. And at the time, I felt like we were getting to know each other, and I was not settled. He was not understanding me fully. I was not understanding. We just knew that we loved each other and we wanted to stay together, but I didn't feel like there was a rush in getting married for the what, for the what. Let's just. So then we live together with our kids have only known us living together. Like, our kids, if you say to my kids, you know what, I have to move here and your dad have to move here, my kids have a panic attack, like, literally, guys, that, like, they do, because all they know is us living together. And so then we lived together as the kids are starting school. I got a job as well. The thing about it is that he's always wanted indaba yokuthi ayovela ekhaya and stuff. But I will always, like, for me, it never used to make sense why you would take, because we were not very stable financially. It was like, he's working, I'm working, but it's enough for us to live. So it never used to make sense to me. How are we going to take this money that is very little and save and save it for us to get married, when we have school fees, when we have clothes, when we have umalume okhokhelwayo esikoleni, when we have food? It just never used to make sense. I felt like at the time, with the money we have, let's just raise our kids. And honestly, it is, for me, it was the best decision ever, because there is nothing better than being in a relationship that you know that I am here by choice. At any point, I can walk out of here if this thing doesn't work for me. And because it makes you feel like even the other person is here because they want to be here. Because we're not married, you can walk out, and you are not walking out because you like being here. And in terms of living together, guys, I honestly like would advise, if my daughter came today and say I'm getting married, I would say please live with this person for at least a year, because there's so many things that we had to deal with that we had to deal with that we don't have to deal with now, because now we've worked on those things, we understand each other better. But I feel like I don't know if our relationship would have survived that had we been married. For I'll make an example. I've always had an issue with like a man thinking that doing a washing, nokumphekela, nokumcleanela, nokunjani, you have to do it. It's not that I don't want to do it. I do it. I wash, I clean, I cook, I whatever. But I always have a problem with feeling like you think it's my duty to do it. The fact that I feel like you feel like I should do it, I am supposed to do it for you. That's what it was like a biggest trigger for me. It was such an issue in our relationship that there was a time where I stopped doing his laundry for the longest time, because I just couldn't deal with somebody just saying, "Isheti lami manje lingcolile, ini mina ngizogqoka kusasa," and I'm like, "Ayibo manje mina, how was I supposed to know ukuthi ishethi lakho lingcolile phela? You were supposed to say ukuthi baby ngicela ungiwashele ishethi or something." It's like mina, I'm supposed to sit here count shirt number one, shirt number two, shirt number three, shirt number four. Let me wash. Ayibo. you know so I felt like I needed more appreciation. Recognize the fact that I'm doing it for you, and that it is not my duty to do it for you, but I do it out of love. I do appreciate you saying thank you when I've done it. Not kuwashiwe na, kuwashiwe na, kanti kuphekwa nini?" Like I don't like lezo zinto lezo. And those are the things that we dealt with. And I was like, I'm not saying that I'm not gonna do it for you. I'm not gonna do it for you, but I want to feel like you know that I don't have to do it for you. I'm gonna do it out of love. So for the longest time, we struggled with those. I didn't do his washing, guys. People would think I'm crazy, and I was like, no. I feel like he doesn't appreciate it. I feel like he doesn't know that I don't have to do it, and he also didn't understand it. This one time, and this is us skipping, guys. This is us skipping. We're living with our kids. We are happy otherwise, except for these chores that need to be done in this house that I feel like I have time to do, I can do, but I'm not gonna do because you do not appreciate, you do not understand that I don't have to do them. So then what happens was that I stopped doing his laundry for a long time. And then he ended up like washing only the things that he needs. Ne? Oh shame, baby. See, Puma good, guys. This one time when he's at work, I take out all of his laundry, I wash it, and after it's dry and everything, pack it to wardrobe. He comes back from work, he mangal, basket empty, wardrobe, we all in the t-shirts. And then he looks at it, and then he's like, "Eish, babe, ngiyabonga." Ngiyabonga ukuthi ungiwashele. Okay. Ever since that day, every time I do his washing, he will say, "Thank you." If I tidy up his wardrobe, he says, "Thank you." If his clothes need washing, phela nami I miss it. Mina, I have clothes I can wear for the next 5 weeks. Ngingawash. Ngiyiphinde ezinye. So I'm not sitting here worried about amabhuluku akho mina ukuthi sengcole wonke. You know what I mean? I wanted to be in that kind of relationship where it's understood that certain things are not my duty to do. I will do them out of love. You take care of me, I take care of you. I will cook, yes, but sometimes like nami I need some rest. Mangithi namhlanje angipheki, it's that to understand that it's because I'm tired, because I work too. I wanted to. That was very important to me, that I'm in that kind of a relationship. Engenayo leyo pressure leyo. Like akudliwa nini, like umuntu akasawashelwa, like and over time. And now he has had things that he has had issues with when it comes to me, when it comes to our relationship that we have had to work. So us living together, we have had a chance to work on those things together. because we were staying together. He was here, I was here, but it wasn't like we were forced by a marriage certificate to be together. We were there by choice. We made that choice. So like for me nje indaba yomshado nje umuntu uma ekhuluma ngomshado bengivele ngivala amadlebe ukuthi eyi guys kahleni bakithi impilo ine-pressure eningi kabi ukuthi ngingangibelisela ngendaba yomshado. I really just it didn't make sense to me why people wanna rush us into getting married. So come to now, okay, how did I make a decision? Because honestly, there were times when he gave up on the idea yokuthi fanele silobolane, fanele sishade, and he was like, ngiyozwa nawe, honestly, you know. But now and then he will raise it. And I think recently what really convinced me to do it was, okay, fine. And even though it's not like we're doing very well financially, but we can put things together. Kwenzeke, you know, I feel like we can singambandanisa kwenzeke. And also bekune issue, meaning they're using my surname because initially at the time I was the one that had medical aid, and it was easier to add my daughter on my medical aid with my surname. And then when my son it was the same thing. By the time my last born came, it was like, oh, by the way, I didn't talk about Sipo. But those people were managing in 2010. You know, we were still living together when we had Usipo. When it comes to raising our kids, guys, honestly, we have never bothered anyone with raising our kids. We raised our kids ourselves. We struggled with our kids ourselves. The two of us, whether our relationship was doing well at a time or not, you know, we were never not showing love to our kids. We were never not struggling with our kids. Even when my last born was diagnosed with cerebral palsy, we were there together. So yes. Anyway, that story has its own videos. You can go and watch. But yes, what was I saying? Oh, so recently the issue that was coming up was the fact that obviously ufuna ukuthi sishintshe ingane isibongo, so they took their rightful surname, and it just got to a point where I did not want my kids to have a different surname from mine. And I also did feel like, you know, I wanted to do things. I feel like uma wami fanele ayithole ibizo that are due to her. Ayithole inkomo. My father, whether living or not, fanele ayithole inkomo zakhona, you know, zakhe. And I wanted to go through that process, and I wanted everything traditional to be done and done in the correct way. And I feel like we could probably manage to do that now, you know. Honestly, when it comes to marriage, I will get married. Like traditional is very important to me. Indaba yokwaba usine uthelwe ngenyongo emzini, that's more important to me than ilokhuzana, marriage certificate. Actually, I was having a conversation with my sister the other time, and I said to her, ebuza ukuthi sizosayina yini, and I asked her ukuthi, what is the use of a marriage certificate? Guys, that's a question I really have been asking people, and nobody has been able to tell me ukuthi, what is the use of a marriage certificate? Tell me, because for me the traditional part is more important. I'm really struggling to even decide whether we will have a marriage certificate in our union, because I haven't seen the benefits. A lot of people will talk about my finances, like, you know, what if he dies and you won't be recognized as a wife? And I'm like, but that will be because we did not take care of things that we're supposed to take care. I can go to work right now and say, this is the person that would do this. He can go to his work and do that. Why do we need a marriage certificate to do that? So I don't know. I'm still conflicted about the marriage certificate. Do we really need Home Affairs to recognize our relationship when we have been in our relationship when the world didn't recognize? Because honestly, guys, when you are co-inhabiting, the relatives, the makelones, the whatever, everybody has an opinion on your relationship. So you have to be umuntu onenkani to be like, this is what works for me, and I will do it for me because it works for me. And so now it's like, okay, we have convinced the world that our relationship is legit, because people will be like, "Ooh, uhlale nomuntu for People say that to me, like ungahlala nomuntu for so long, uzosesuka ahambe ayolobola omunye umuntu. Then mayehamba ayolobola omunye umuntu, it means ukuthi he was always going to lobola another person. So now I must rush mina and get married because I'm scared that if I don't marry this person, they will go and marry someone else. What kind of a life is that? I wanted to do life, relationships. I wanted to do love in my own terms. I wanted to be like, when I get married, I want to know that this is the person I can live with. When I get married, I want to know that this is the person that I want to be with for my whole life because I know them. And how am I going to know them if I don't live with them? I've lived with him for so long. I think we are the longest co-inhabiting couple that I know of. I mean, honestly, and it has worked for me. It has worked for my relationship. I feel secured in my relationship. We always have things to work on, but the important parts that are basic in the relationship, I feel like I'm comfortable with. So now I can get married. I just don't know what a marriage certificate is for. If you guys know and you have reasons that you know why I should get a marriage certificate, please put it in the comment section below. Support it because don't just say, "Ntando, you can't get married without a marriage certificate." Tell me what's the reason. Like, guys, I'm honest about that question because nobody has been able to give me an answer that really convinces me. So recently we got engaged. So this is what happened. Obviously, last year, was it last year? Not last year, it's in 2021. This is 2022. Okay. End of 2020, he went wayekhaya eyocela. AmaZulu ayazi ukuthi yini ukucela. It's like that initial malobolo. And then this function, it was ibizo. Ibizo mostly kuthiwa ezikamama. So kuzombathisa umama kulethwa blanket, kulethwani izinto zomama abantu bambatha amaphinifa, amaduku and all of that. And then we did our engagement. A lot of people said that we did engagement yet was like so much and we spent so much money. Why didn't we just get married? Guys, we've known each other for over 30 years. It deserved some kind of a celebration. We couldn't have had just something simple, like engagement. We've never done anything just together to celebrate us being together. So we just had to go like the way that we did. But we both feel that there is no rush. People were saying we should have just used that day and gotten married. And we were like, but there's no rush. Like every time someone said that, I'm like, yeah, we could have gotten married, but why? you know, like why? Isn't it more important, guys, to be in a relationship and be happy in a relationship than marriage? Like, which one is important? Which one is important? Is it important to be in a secured relationship or is it important to be married? You know, is it important to be in a relationship where you are loved and appreciated, or is it important to be married? That's what I'm not getting right now from feedback about people. Is it like you should have just gotten married? Listen, no, not right now, but probably will happen in the future without the marriage certificate. For now, thank you so much for watching this video. This was a long storyline. Story time. This was a long story time. But thank you so much for watching my video. If you've got any questions, you can put them down below. Guys, I have a lot of stories that I can tell when it comes to Ugu Kipita. I want to have a wrong impression of Ugu Kipita, and I do understand why. But if you want me to talk about it some more on another video, I will do it for you. Thank you so much. Please share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers in the time that are cool.